Just a few housekeeping things before we get started. We're going to be going at warp speed tonight because the fire department is having their annual Christmas dinner, and we want to get out there and get the commissioners out there for that. So we will be moving along pretty quick. Anybody here tonight, it's one of the biggest crowds we've had, not the biggest we've had in the past couple of years, but it's a big one. Anybody here that's under house arrest, you might want to take note. We do tape every meeting, and the judge is with us tonight. So just to be on the safe side there. With that being said, we're going to get started. Welcome to the December meeting, December 4th of the Farmville Board of Commissioners. I thank each and every one of you for being here. Those that are having business with the town of Farmville, you will be heard tonight. You'll be heard in a citizen's presentation and then citizen's comment. The presentation is where you have 3 minutes. Talk about anything or any questions you may have. The comments at the end are designed to ask questions about what you've heard in this meeting. If you have a question, that's what it'll be pertaining to in case you miss anything or want clarification. That comes at the very end of the meeting. Let the record show that all board members are present. All elected commissioners are here tonight, and we'll swear them in just a moment. With that being said, I'm going to call on Paul Ellis to deliver our invocation, and after that, I'll lead the pledge to the flag. Please rise.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with humble hearts, thanking you for all the many blessings you have given each of us. We thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to freely gather to handle the affairs of our town. And most of all, we thank you for sending your Son so that we may have eternal life in your presence. Bless those in our town who are sick and suffering, but your healing hand upon them with your will. Bless those who have lost loved ones. Bless be especially close to them in our time of need. Now, as we enter the allotted time to handle the business of our town, we ask that you bless each of our elected officials to make decisions that are best for all of us. May each word spoken and action taken be pleasing in your sight. It is in your Son's name.
Amen. Thank you. Join me now in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the approval of the minutes, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Dixon as his last official duty to make a motion to accept those.
I make a motion we approve the November 6th minutes.
Board, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That brings me to something here that I am not very good at. Let's you and I go over here. Past 2009, I've had the opportunity to serve on the board with the introduction. I think it's fair to say that since 2009, including Sunday and Saturday, he got a phone call from me just about every day. I think he served our town well, but he served this board in an exceptional manner. Not only with his ability to lead the town, but as we served and prepared for every single week. He came to this board in 2009. Very long evidence that passed this board to rebuild the recreation farm. We had the old bank for many years. And this has got here, that was his passion, the art of recreation, the economic development. And they not even say enough good things about you for the mission. You've been outstanding in what you've done to this town. We'll live for many, many years. It says appreciation for your service to the citizens of the town of Farmville, Dixon, Commissioner, December 1st, 2009 to December 4th, 2023. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I did prepare just a few notes, and I appreciate you letting me kind of read from those. I'm glad Mayor Evans is here. Mayor Evans is a big fan of the motto, honor and shaping the future. Tonight's meeting really is about shaping the future, but I'm kind of happy to be honored as part of the past. I got my tennis shoes on so I can pretty much run out of time tonight. But thank you to the current board, especially all you guys made this job. You guys have made the, and I don't even want to stand in front of it because it's about you, not me. But you guys have made this job wonderful. John, David, Bert, Alma, Brenda, it's really been a pleasure. Previous boards have been great. I've been very fortunate to work with probably some of the finest folks in Farmville over the past 14 years. David Toshkins is just a blessing to Farmville, and we're lucky to have him. All our staff, department heads, the ones who are here, the ones who are not here, thank you for being great representatives of the town of Farmville and helping us look good. And to the volunteers in the town of Farmville, somebody counted maybe about 3 years ago, right before COVID, that we had probably 350 active volunteers in the town of Farmville. But I think in 2022, it's probably more like 5,000 active volunteers. I think we probably have 4 volunteers in the town of Farmville than we have citizens of the town of Farmville. And that's what really makes Farmville good. Thank you to the citizens, all the citizens, for giving me the opportunity to serve. It's a privilege and an honor, and one that I don't take lightly, and I know these guys don't. I know these guys will not take lightly. I am proud of the town, proud of what we accomplished and our successes. I am excited to be leaving, but not just leaving, but leaving with the confidence of knowing that the new board, that these new guys, along with the existing leadership, will help our town continue to thrive and get even better. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity here. Thank you. This is a Carolina fan, and I've really not had the opportunity for it, but I took the opportunity to knock his water over on
Thank you, sir. Incredible job.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Chris, is there a protocol order, or can I swear, can I go in a different order if I'd like to swear them in? Can I just go in any order I want to?
I think so.
That's a good thing. I watched this young man grow up. I have more respect for his father than one could imagine. I get my honey from his brother. I love his sister, and his other brother is married to my business partner. So, Mark, I'm going to ask that you come down first and be sworn in by my dear friend, Judge Galen Braddock. You can bring them all. If you'd have told me we could have done this at Flanagan Field.
While you're coming up, I just want to tell you what a pleasure and a privilege it is to be here with you tonight. I think you're very like a future television. Right? I wish I could talk back and forth like he does with here so naturally and so easy, but I get to visit y'all a lot of Thursdays for here. Almost always a pleasure to come. All the restaurants that you go eat after work. Yes, you got great things here. You got great leadership. And I see a lot of familiar faces I've done for 24 years, and I take it flies just like that. But you got a great thing going. So y'all took that day to take this. Commissioner, how you want this out? You would face him and let all the family go up? Okay.
What if we get you two in the center here? Sorry. We got two in the center here, and it's really this time. How do we do this back here?
You do anything you want to.
All right, what I'm going to ask you to do, future commissioner, is if you'll just state your name for the record. And do you solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, will in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinance of the town of Farmville, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office to as a commissioner of the town of Farmville. Congratulations.
No, I don't think so.
Everybody knows that? I figured.
Sit beside Bert. You got to go to work now. You sworn in, man. One of the reasons I asked to change the order of this tonight, first, Bobby, I'm gonna ask you to come up and stand with whomever's going to be joining you. I'm going to ask you to come up first. Whoever's going to hold your Bible. Billy, you going to help me with that? Okay, Bobby, if you just let Billy and I come on up here, sir. I was supposed to call you today and tell you I was going to do that, but I just didn't do it. Hold it right there, Billy. Folks, if you would join me, would you please stand in respect to one of the greatest mayors in the history of Farmville.
Amen.
He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and tonight is truly an honor to have him back in his house. A big round of applause for Mayor Bobby Evans.
All right.
Y'all, please take your seats. Bring them on down now, Billy.
Still cleaning up.
I'll start it this week.
Didn't get your phone too.
And I'll just say, I concur what the mayor said. Along with the mayor, and I didn't realize there was a son getting sworn in. I said, Mr. Mayor, you just going to stand and come out here. State your name. And you solemnly swear to support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not to be consistent with all respects, observe the provisions of this charter and ordinance of the town of Farmville, which will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as Commissioner of Town of Farmville, so help you God.
I think everybody in Farmville knows my grandson Ollie and my son Cameron, 3 generations, all born right here and raised in Farmville.
Nice to meet you. Enjoy your cocktail. Probably on the other side. I can say your name.
John Moore.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution of the in all respects, observe the provisions of the charter and ordinance of the town of Farmville? Here at the town of Farmville.
Take care.
Each one of these commissioners will have an opportunity to speak at the end of tonight's meeting. You know, a lot of things, in fact, there are more, the list of what the mayor, see you, buddy. What the mayor can't do is a very long list, and what he can do is a very short list, but there is one thing that the mayor can do, and that is declare a recess.
Mayor, we have one more commissioner this
Commissioner
morning.
Smith probably needs to be sworn in.
Who?
That guy 2 seats to your left.
Who? Bert! That was a dirty trick, but anyway, Commissioner Smith. I had to do it after all these years. Commissioner Smith. You going?
I wasn't sure you were quite ready.
Oh, I was. But anyway, we have recess, Ms. Zoe.
Hold the Bible in the circle which I will raise your right. If you state your name. First, do you solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of America, not inconsistent therewith, but in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the town of Farmville, faithfully discharge the duties of your office as Commissioner of Town?
Let me apologize to Bert, because I've seen him sit there for 4 years. I just took for granted, so y'all will just have to write about that on Facebook. It's more with 2 O's. I'm sure some of you know that. With that being said, recess for 15 minutes. We'll be back, okay?
Okay.
Commissioner Smith, thanks for not disowning me. We've got a little business tonight. Like I said, the firemen are having their annual supper tonight. The first order of business tonight under new business is the election of Mayor Pro Tem. That is done by nomination from the board and selected from that nomination. At this time, are there any nominations for the Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I have a nomination.
Dr. Hobbs?
I would like to nominate David Shackelford for being one of our statesmen on this board. He has lots of seniority, and he has lots of institutional memory and experience, and I highly recommend him.
Okay. You accept that nomination?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
Okay. Are there any more nominations? No second. I'll explain that once we get going too. Okay?
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
It would be a nomination. It would be a nomination. So are there any more nominations? You, sir?
With all due respect, and I said I won't go come up here and say anything in the first meeting, but I've already broken that rule. With all due respect to Alma, Commissioner Hobbs, and to Commissioner Shackle, a long-term friend of mine and got a lot of respect for, it's my understanding, or has been my understanding, I may be wrong, but that it's been the tradition of this board for as long as I can remember that the top vote getter in the most recent election be nominated as the Mayor Pro Tem if he should so choose to accept. So I would like to nominate Mark Flanagan.
Mark, do you accept the nomination of being nominated? I do. Okay. Are there any other nominations? Any others? Seeing none, the nominations come to a close. With 2 names, I would be comfortable with a secret ballot. Is that okay to ask for?
May I ask a procedural question? Because,
Please do, Bert, please do.
I realize and heard what Commissioner Evans said was regarding the vote. I was just wondering if, and I realize that I think has been an established protocol. Is there anything written or any ordinances for the procedure, or has that just been customary for the election of Mayor Pro Tem?
My understanding is it's just a custom that this board has followed for several years. I don't know how long it goes back to, but that was what I was always told was what they customarily did. But I've never seen anything in writing or there's no ordinance or anything like that. It's just what has been customarily done.
There's no real established procedure aside from just the...
Not that I'm aware of. It's just the only thing legally someone has to be appointed or elected as mayor pro tem at this meeting, but beyond that, how you do it, I mean, I've worked various places and every one of them has done it a different way, so it's up to the board.
I'm not aware of any set statutory procedure, Bert.
Right,
Other than
okay.
a mayor pro tem, as David said, has to be selected tonight. But beyond that, it's wide open on how you do it. Of course, I don't immediately recall a time when there have been multiple nominations for the position of Farmville, but first time for everything.
Is it proper to have a secret ballot at this time?
Yes,
Do I need a motion, or can we just do that?
you can just do that. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know, do you want me to write out 5 of those, or you want to go make some copies? Or
I guess we can make some copies or whatever.
I mean, if you want me to.
Yeah, the chief raised his hand, he said he'd make some copies. Just a simple check the box kind of deal.
We'll wait.
This would be done by secret ballot. I think the ballots would become part of the minutes from the meeting.
Okay.
You do not need to sign your ballot.
Can I appoint who does the counting?
We're really in uncharted waters. I think you can, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to ask the chief and the major to count those ballots when they come in, if I may.
I think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Chief, if you would hand out one to each commissioner, and then once it's been folded and you're comfortable with picking them up, I'll ask you to pick them up and the mayor to count them, and then I'll go to you for an answer. Has everyone voted? If so, hold it out so the chief can pick it up and the major. If you and the major would count them. Yes, if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Commissioner Shackelford will be the Mayor Pro Tem. That brings us down to citizen presentation. Once again, you get 3 minutes. You'd like to say anything on your mind tonight? We ask that you give your name and your address for future reference if we should ever have to come back and ask you for any questions, please. Anyone? Seeing none, we'll move down to the town manager. Are you coming down? No, are you coming down? Yes. I didn't get it registered, so that's okay, come on. It's been kind of hectic tonight. Just give us your name and your address, and Amy will let you know when the 3 minutes. You can only speak to the board without singling out anybody on the board. So name and address, please.
Vincent Vines, 3211 North Fifth Street. Proceed.
Yes, sir.
I had a problem with my water meter sinking. I've been living in Pine Hall now for about 20 years. And this was, it was worked on about 10 years ago, but now it's something even lower, and my neighbors are the same way. I'm wondering if someone could come out. I've spoken to different people about it. That's yet to be addressed.
What was that address again?
3211 North Fifth Street.
Okay. If you'll wait till this meeting's over, I'm sure that somebody in here will approach you and with the direction, okay? Thank you, sir. Since we missed the sign-up sheet tonight, is anyone else? Anyone else? If not, we'll move to the town manager's comments. Mr. Hodgkins.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I just have a couple of things. I wanted to start out, since we welcome our two newest elected officials, had an opportunity to meet with them individually last week and had a good meeting. Hopefully they feel the same way. We went over all sorts of things and look forward to working with both of them. On the other flip side, we've got several of our department heads here tonight. I just wanted to, most of you probably know all of them, but I wanted to introduce them individually and just have them stand for the benefit of the elected officials. So I'll just start with the police chief, Jeffrey Spencer. Wes Thomas, our public works director. Beside him is Joe Ripkema, he's the police major. And then Brian Shackelford, our utility director. Amy Johnson, of course, is our clerk and finance director at the table. Behind the camera is Brian Spihar, our IT manager. Back in the far corner is Christopher Hargan, our newest staff person. He's our Parks and Rec director. And then we've got Justin Oakes, our planning director here, and our old and new planning director. And then beside him is Angie Bates, our library director. And then behind the partition is Donna Williams, our person that does all the PR and public information, all that for us. And I think that's all. And Paul Ellis is right here. He's our code enforcement officer. So I think I've not missed anybody. So I just wanted to acquaint you with all those folks in case you didn't know some of them. We did have the annual tree lighting at Taste of Farmville back last past Friday. It was very successful. The weather held up very well. It was very nice, very pleasant. Had a lot of traditional activities and then a few new ones that were added by the chamber. I just wanted to thank our staff and also the Chamber of Commerce staff for making these a success. And every comment I've heard since that time, that night and since, has been very positive. So we'll build on that success for next year. And then wanted to just mention lastly, just a few events that are coming up. We have a Christmas parade on Saturday, this Saturday, December 9th at 10:30. That's on Main Street. And then we have our Day of Prayer, which is also that Saturday, December 9th at the gazebo, starting at 12:30. You may recall that's been held in the past, but it was around 6 or 6:30, and at night. So they moved it back to 12:30 to, make it more convenient to those who attend the parade. And then the May Museum has its annual Christmas tea on Sunday, December 10th, from 3 to 5:30 at the May Museum. So that's always a very dignified, nice event, beautiful event, candlelight and everything. So I would urge all of you and the public to attend any and all of those events. That's all I have. Thank you.
Dave, could you get you introduced the department heads, could you get a list of board members like the library board and recreation board to the commissioners as soon as possible, so that in case they start getting asked questions about upcoming recreation or whatever? Could you get that to them pretty quick?
Yes, sir. And actually, Commissioner Evans asked me about that. I've spoken
Okay.
with Cindy Thomas, and she's going to make copies of those, and we'll distribute those. But yes, those are our citizen boards, and we went over what they did. But as far as the membership, we'll get those out to everyone. So.
For the board members, just to refresh you, in January's meeting, town manager and I put on the agenda, each board comes and tells us what they've got going on, and so that the other boards can hear it, and maybe there's something that they can weigh in on and want to be a part of that. In other words, the recreation comes up and says we're going to have soccer, and the library comes up and says, look, we're going to have books on soccer available, things of that nature. So we do that in January. Anybody have any questions of the town manager? I'll start at the end with Commissioner Flanagan.
No, sir.
Mr. Shannon? Fine.
No.
Okay, that'll bring us down to the financial report. That is in your folder there. Any questions on that? If so, Amy's prepared to answer them. There was a handout that came out. Is that something we need to address? Is that coming later?
That's going to be
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any questions of Amy or the town manager on the financial report? Okay. If you get this and you get it home and you dig into it and you got any questions, be sure and give them a call. That moves us down to changes, additions, and deletions to the agenda. Are there any changes or additions or deletions? Seeing none, is there a motion that we accept the agenda as presented?
I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Dr. Hobbs has made the motion that we accept the agenda. Any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hear none, the ayes have it. That brings us down to the public hearing, an ordinance to amend Chapter 157 of Code of Ordinance regarding the home occupation and the accessory structures. You got this, Justin?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and welcome to our two newest Commissioners. Look forward to working with you guys moving forward. Item before you this evening is a request for a text amendment regarding home occupation requirements. Staff has initiated this request to amend the zoning ordinance to allow home occupations to be conducted out of accessory buildings on the same property as the dwelling residence. The reason that this has come up, we received a zoning compliance application from a citizen that is looking to upfit a detached garage on their property. However, the issue is when you look at our current requirements in the ordinance for a home occupation, they do not currently allow a home occupation to operate in a detached dwelling. So, for example, if an individual had an attached garage and wanted to run a home occupation out of that, that would be okay. But given the current language of our ordinance, because in this case it is a detached garage, they would be unable to do so because of it being a detached garage would be considered an accessory structure under the ordinance. I did some research on some other ordinances in the area. We looked at Pitt County and talking with them. They've had to make a similar change to remove this portion about not being allowed in a detached structure. And they did that as well with the town of Grimes on here in Pitt County. So it's not uncommon when you look at other municipalities' ordinances to allow home occupations to operate out of detached structures. So what we are looking to accomplish with this amendment to the ordinance would be to just remove this portion that does not allow it in detached structures. All of the other requirements as they are currently listed for a home occupation would still remain. That would include, the occupation shall not significantly increase the traffic, noise, electrical interference, glare, dust, smoke, or odor beyond the levels normally existing in any residential districts. So again, the only change we're looking at here would be to strike the portion that would not allow home occupation in a detached structure.
Okay. Board, at this time, Justin will answer any questions you have. Anybody having any questions? Now's the time.
I have a question. It says must not use over 25% of the total floor space of the dwelling structure. So this is being in an outlying building. How is that 25% calculated?
That will be calculated based off the entirety of the property.
So both the dwelling and the ancillary structure would figure into that 25%?
You said the property or the actual
the
building?
floor space.
Floor space, okay. The property would include.
Yeah,
that.
sorry,
Okay.
my apologies. Yeah.
Clarify that. Can you share the person's name?
And I apologize, I did pull that application and I've left it in my office when I come for the meeting, but yes, I can get you that information, yeah. And just for additional information, the purpose of this is a individual that runs a catering business. They're not looking at doing any of the business on site. They're simply looking at upfitting their detached garage with commercial cooking equipment so that they can do cooking on site there and then take it to the sites that they'll be providing the catering at.
So just out of curiosity, they were not operating and then.
No.
Okay, so they're.
Nothing's currently in operation.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody?
Just one other thing.
Go ahead, sir.
25%. So if a person has for round numbers, 1,000 square foot house and 1,000 square foot outbuilding, we're saying that they put this business in the outbuilding, it could be up to 500 square feet in that outbuilding.
We're looking at it as the totality of both it would be based off of, in that case, 2,000 square feet, which would be the 1,000 square foot for the residence and then 1,000 square foot for the outbuilding.
So if the person wanted to put it, I guess an argument could be made from a person that wanted to put it in their house, that if we're going to use the gross area of the two buildings to calculate it, if it's in the outbuilding, why can't we use it for the gross area for the business in the dwelling?
And currently they're allowed to do it in the dwelling. Yes,
Yeah, I know they are, but it's only 25% of the dwelling now when you calculate the size of the business.
Right. So I'm sorry, maybe I missed it.
So if a person came to you and said, I have 1,000 square foot house, 1,000 square foot outbuilding, I want to put it in the outbuilding, then they're allowed to put a 500 square foot business in that outbuilding. If they came to you and said, I have 1,000 square foot house and 1,000 square foot outbuilding, I want to put it in my house, the way this reads, they can only put a 250 square foot business in their house.
I think, so what the ordinance would do with this amendment, it would allow, it would be regardless of, it would just look at the square footage based off both of them, and it wouldn't matter whether it would be in the residential part or in the detached. So that would not matter in terms of where it would be located at, as far as the size restriction on that.
You good, sir?
Thanks.
Board, do you have any other questions? If not, I'm going to declare this public hearing open. Anyone wishing to speak to this, Justin, if you want to just hold on just a second, see if does anybody want to speak to this? Anybody? Seeing none? I'm going to close this public hearing and ask the board for questions, comments, or motions. Any more questions, comments, or motion on this?
I will make a motion to approve the ordinance regarding home occupation for accessory structures.
Board, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Mr. Flanagan, you need a minute or so? You good? Board, you've heard the motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay? So there you go. That brings us down to items for decision. Resolution declaring personal property as surplus. For the benefit of our new commissioners, David, you got this?
Yes, sir.
Give us just a little bit of background on how this works.
Okay, so normally something like this would be under the consent agenda because it's fairly routine and all, but for the benefit of the new folks in this meeting, we separated those out so there could be greater explanation. And as I mentioned in the individual meetings with these folks, during the way, if we do something under consent agenda and somebody wants it pulled off for more explanation, we can do that anyway. But anyway, okay, so in this case, the town of Farmville has a couple pieces of property that are be deemed surplus, they're not being used, we have no use for them. And so material over a certain value has to be declared formally surplus by someone. Typically, we get the board to declare this property surplus. Sometimes if it's really small, the town manager can do it, whatever. But in this case, we follow General Statute 168-266, which if the board sees fit to declare this material surplus, then they would pass a resolution that allows for how to dispose of the property. In this case, there's two vehicles, a 2006 Ford Crown Victoria sedan, a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria sedan. And in your packet behind there, there is a sheet that explains what the problem is, why they're surplus, why it's too much to repair them, that kind of thing. And usually on vehicles, we can get some amount of money for these when we put them out for bid or whatever. And so General Statute 168-266 allows the board to authorize an appropriate town official to dispose of surplus property by various means authorized with state law. It could be auction, it could be online auction, it could be private negotiation, sale, it could be all sorts of different ways. But the statute cited here allows, I think it's 5 or 6 different things. And in that case, in these minor property things, the board typically designates the town manager as or his designee to dispose of the property. So if you desire to surplus this property, you would pass this resolution, this attached, surplusing these properties and authorizing sale by any means authorized under the statute.
Anybody got any questions about this process? Is there a motion that we adopt the resolution?
I move that we adopt the resolution.
Dr. Hobbs has made a motion that we adopt this resolution. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That brings us down to the adoption of ordinance amending the 23-24 budget ordinance concerning the police. The budget amendment places funds received from insurance for placement of cost of 2017 Dodge Charger. Is that where I am, David? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Have you got this or Chief got it?
It wouldn't be the chief. Well, I guess he could. Could be the finance director or mine. I can.
I wish you would.
I'll introduce it, and then if there's any questions.
Right. You take the lead on that.
Correct. Then you can maybe talk to the chief. So this is another situation where on these routine budget amendments, we normally would do it under consent agenda, but in this case, we pulled it off. In this case, there was a vehicle that was totaled, a police vehicle that was totaled, and Chief can explain exactly what happened or whatever if you want those details. But anyway, so we filed it with our insurance. We got an insurance settlement, and then we have to recognize those funds, of course, were not budgeted in the adopted budget. So we have to recognize that new revenue in our budget. And so the amendment in your packet is recognizing that $25,119 as insurance settlement revenue, and then the same amount in the police department for capital outlay equipment to purchase the new vehicle or use towards a new vehicle. So that's what this amendment is about.
Okay. Anybody have a question to David concerning this? Any question? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the budget ordinance for the police vehicle.
Board, you've heard the motion from Commissioner Smith. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. David, is this, Ms. Angie, you got this, or has David got this about the library amendment?
Well, I'll start, and if she.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, there were some American Rescue Plan Act funds that, as I understand it, were through the state. They were state ARPA funds, not to be confused with the local ARPA funds that the town got and counties around the state got. So there were funds that were appropriated through this source, and this was our allocation in this case. And then, so you've got the revenue, and then you've got the library director has determined how that's going to be spent on the expenditure side. There was one slight error that actually Commissioner Flanagan called me about today. Haven't even talked with the library director about it, but I did talk with the finance director. The revenue and expenditures were off by $3. So we corrected that. At your place, there is a new ordinance that has corrected figures, and I think I put that, I thought I had the old one in. Anyway, it was $3 off, and so the revenues and expenditures and the one that you have at your place or had at your place tonight is balances. So you've got appropriated fund balance, which is where the funds from the ARPA money went into, and then you see where the library has reallocated that like amount in department supplies, program supplies, children's books, and adult books.
Any questions of the town manager on this? Any questions? Motion that we accept?
Motion that we accept.
Commissioner Shackelford has made a motion that we accept the budget ordinance. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That brings us down to the board's annual retreat. David, I'm going to let you take this, and if the other commissioners need to chime in on it at that point, I think we have had the board retreat at this time for several years, and it seems to work, so I'll yield to you at this time.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. The folks who are holdovers that have been on the board are familiar with our retreats. We've had them all the time I've been here, so I think our 12th in a row. So we always have a planning retreat, and this is a time to, in a more formal setting, get everyone together, talk about, setting goals and, maybe some stuff coming up for the budget, upcoming budget, other issues, hear from departments on various projects, and some of our consultants come and talk about various things, and then special topics. And so we typically meet all day on the first day, and then until around noon on the second. We eat, we have lunch brought in on first day, that kind of thing, and usually typically finish before lunch on the second day. So it's a day and a half. We have had at different times. Typically, I guess the earliest it's ever been is maybe the end of January. We've had it actually as late as early March because we had one that was snowed out. We had to postpone it until March, but we always pretty much wrap it up with the idea that whatever we do action-wise, if there's action that comes out of it, invariably there is, that could be done around at the March or at the very latest April meeting, get some things out of the way in time for, budget and that kind of thing. So it's a really good time to just, roll up your sleeves, talk about issues. We go through sort of a step-by-step process leading up to that. Tonight is set the date, get everything sort of squared away in place and all that time. And then next month, we'll talk more about, okay, what are we going to talk about? And in the meantime, I'll ask the departments to sort of come up with some ideas they have, and also ask you, are there things that you might want to talk about? We can certainly talk about it outside the meetings too, one-on-one. But it's a really good thing. I think everybody finds it very helpful. It's not a voting meeting, although I guess it could be. It's advertised as a meeting, but it's more of a discussion with direction. Okay, board sort of consensus is we want this, and then we bring it back to you for a formal vote at a future meeting or whatever. So tonight we're just asking to set the date. Now, traditionally, these things have been on Monday and Tuesday. And I guess many of our board members were either retired or had flexibility in their schedules. We've got a couple of new board members, and I'm sure at the level they are, they probably, with notice they can get off or whatever. But sometimes maybe a Monday is not ideal, or Tuesday is not ideal, or Thursday may be better or something. So, like I said, traditionally it's been a Monday and half-day Tuesday, but there's nothing magical about that. It could be on a Thursday, it could be on, Wednesday, whatever. But we would ask that, you consider that day and a half, consecutive day and a half format, whatever day. And I was recommending, sometime the latter part of February. That way we could have 2 meetings beyond this one to nail down the topics and everything and all logistics. So you'd have your January meeting, and then February sort of have a vote on a finalized agenda at that point, and then later that month have your retreat. So,
Anybody got any questions about the retreat?
It's not major, but I have a minor conflict on February 26th, and I was going to ask, and I don't know whether it matters to anyone else, whether they work on Monday or not, but I was going to suggest maybe the 27th and the 28th, as opposed to the 26th and 7th, which would put it on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Would you entertain the idea of moving it up a week?
Up a week?
Move it up a week, because that Monday is, Wednesdays are almost impossible for me. And it's been that way for years.
I don't have any problem.
Could we move it up a week, David?
it's up to the board.
What's that date?
The 19th and 20th.
How does that work with everybody else?
You're looking at
I
February.
know I'm asking a special concession.
February 19th and 20th.
The 19th is a holiday.
It's not for us, though.
No, I meant. it
Right,
is-
it's, the President's Day is the 19th,
Yeah.
but the town of Farmville does not, that's not one of our holidays.
Would that 19th and 20th work for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Hobbs, when I say guys, I mean girls.
I really appreciate the edit.
I got to get it right. I told Bobby at lunch today, I said, if I call you Mayor Evans, just work with me on that. I'll get there. Board, would you entertain the 19th and 20th?
That works.
Do we need a motion?
You know what?
Mr. Flanagan, that work for you? That work for you? Okay. If that, yeah, I'd like a motion on that if I could, and thanks for the concession. The 19th and 20th is what I'm looking for.
I'll make a motion that we accept the dates of February 19th and 20th for our annual retreat.
Board, you've heard the motion. Any discussion?
Mayor,
What'd I miss?
I didn't ask for this, but could we designate the place as the Farmville Public Library?
Yeah. You put that in your
At the
motion?
Farmville Public Library.
Okay. Okay, board, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. And David, we'll determine a time on that too. 8 or 9, whatever works for Miss Angie and her crew.
What's the, started at 8:30, we started at 9? You want to say 8:30?
Times last year.
8:30 works, okay.
Whatever you want to do, that's fine.
We'll put that on there, and when we finalize it, we'll see if that goes, okay?
Okay, so next month we'll.
Right, we'll finalize
it.
time.
Okay.
And here's something else too, information-wise. If you get to question on anything that you think needs to be staffed during this, whatever it may be, get it to David, and we'll try to get it on the agenda. And by that time, you'll have, if we need an expert to come in, we'll be able to get them and so forth and so on, so we can do it right. And so if you get any idea or any question about anything, just let them know. Okay, that brings us down to citizen comments. Anybody have any question about anything you've seen or heard here tonight? Anybody? Anybody have any question about anything you've seen or heard here tonight? Seeing none. At this time, I'll go to the board. I'll start with Dr. Hobbs on my right and go down. This is where I let the board members take about 2 minutes for closing comments on the meeting tonight. Dr. Hobbs?
Well, thank you very much. I just want to reflect a little bit on 2023. We've had a very challenging and productive year. And I'm looking forward to the opportunities in 2024. And I just realized I'm the only female up here to work with these 4 statesmen in Farmville, North Carolina. Thank you.
Commissioner Evans?
I just want to say I'm looking forward to serving on this board and working with the board and the town of Farmville, and I appreciate the confidence that the people have placed in me to give me this opportunity and this responsibility.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Shackford?
Just want to thank the town for this great job that our people have been able to do for us here, and all the good things they still do for us. And it's been real nice, working together with everybody. And it seems like it's just different than what it used to be. So looks like we're there where we need to be.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Smith, I did not forget you, sir.
No, I'd just like to say welcome to Commissioner Flanagan and Commissioner Evans. Hope we do look forward to working with you guys. It's been a good month in Farmville. I was down at the Taste of Farmville, saw a number of people down there. I thought that was really good. We got a lot coming up. A lot for the employees, a lot for the people. Thank everybody for their contribution, and look forward to some time working with this board.
Mr. Flanagan?
We'll just reiterate a couple of things that you've heard already. Just very thankful to the town for placing their trust in me to be on this board. Looking forward to the challenges and the opportunities that come from a great town. And I look forward to serving the people of Farmville the best I can, and look forward to working with this board. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. First of all, tonight it was heartwarming to me to see Harold Flanagan and Bobby Evans in his room tonight. That meant an awful lot to me. If you piled up what those two fellows have done for this town, it would be a heck of a mountain, so that was good. Mr. Vines, when we get through, I want you to talk to Brian over here. Brian, raise your hand. I want you to see him when this is over. Town employees' lunch is tomorrow. It's the time when we honor our employees for the job they do, and we have got some great town employees, and I am pleased to, our labor turnover is low, and that's a good thing, and I thank you for that. Prayer over Farmville Saturday, right after the parade. Jeffrey Fields will be doing that. He's a great volunteer for the town. He'll be leading that. Parade's at 10:30. And audience, you can't see this, but I'm gonna ask you before these commissioners get out of here tonight to ask him to show it to you. This should give you a chance to talk to the commissioners and meet them. I gave them a handout tonight that was given to me many, many years ago by just a great leader, and he gave it to me. And what it is, it's a screw in a wall with a hammer. No words, no words. And you read in it what you'd like, but the bottom line is there's several solutions to every situation. There is a solution, and if you take time, you will find it. And I think this board's commitment to the town of Farmville, we will take our time. We will move slow, but I'd rather be moving slow than standing still. With that being said, is there a motion that we adjourn?
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?